Good morning. Well, I have to thank for the invitation. As you can see, I am lucky to be a part of the project or the project team and an heritage expert as well, because I work as a part-time job at the National Heritage Institute. I hadn't been able to persuade any of my colleagues to join and speak out, so I have to do it myself. And I have prepared just a few historical observations. Let me share the screen. So I've prepared just a few short observations about the conservation of industrial heritage in the Czech lands. It will be, I'm afraid, mostly about the laws. I'm not speaking against propagation, popularization, education. All these things are important, but as we all know, at the end of the day, when it comes to a crunch, as to say, it's on the legal system whether the industry will be existent or non-existent. And this is actually quite a long tradition, probably even longer than we think. This is Karoli, this is especially for you. This is actually the text of the very first heritage law applied in the Central Europe, and it was brought to life in the Kingdom of Hungary in the 1881. And by the way, for the Slovakia, this was applied till the 1980. So you can find in the first paragraph, you can find quite an interesting definition of what an heritage site, or as to say in German-speaking countries, a Kultur, Kunstdenkmal, or an artistic monument is. And that the law says that an artistic monument is any structure under the earth or above it, which has the value of a historical or artistic monument. That's actually quite smart, because there is not only the artistic value of thing, which was recognizable, from the antiquity, but a kind of, as once more a historical value. This was written long before the formation of modern heritage protection. You can get it without, of course, Alois Riegel. This is a picture I've made to frighten our architecture students. Age value, as we say in English, Alterswert. The groundbreaking concept of simply a new attitude to the things from the past. And with this Alterswert comes also the new function of a monument, which is to document a monument as a document, to document something what was in the past, to document history or the processes or anything, but to document, to clearly show, to bring an evidence in material evidence. It's a little bit a speech of law, to bring a evidence, to document something, to prove that it was. But that was the key point of the modern heritage protection from the beginning of the 20th century. The Czech heritage protection, or heritage care, as we sometimes say, is profoundly Hegelian because of this guy, Zdeněk Wirth. He was a observant follower of Alois Riegel, and art historian, and also a heritage protection manager. He was the first art historian who took a pleasure to describe a blast furnace at Kladno in 1905, and who also first in Czech wrote about industrial architecture of the 19th century in the 30s around. This was published in the 1940s. In the 30s of the 20th century, there was a broad discussion about the preparation of the first Czechoslovakian heritage law. Zdeněk Wirth was in front of these discussions, and interestingly enough, in the 30s, Zdeněk Wirth refused to put any definition of a heritage into the heritage law. He said that the definition of a heritage or of a monument is a scientific question, and the science is developing, changing minds. And if the lawyer needs a precise definition, it's better not to put it into law and let it just, for the scientific expertise. But at the same time, he was asked to make an entry into a vocabulary or the dictionary, or law dictionary, the dictionary of the public law, and he gave this definition. I will try to translate it. At the beginning, he says, anything can become a monument. That's the Hegelian thesis. Anything, any structure, any movable object can become a monument. And for a practical reason, we can speak about the monuments as works of nature, the monuments as works of people. We can speak about ancient and Middle Ages and modern monuments, and we can classify the monuments according to the importance for different sciences. So we can discern a monument which is important for art history. So that's the art historical importance or value. Or we can discern a monument which is important for the history of technology, for science, and hence these are the technical monuments. The very expression technical monuments is already here. It's been 90 years old these days. That was not the only source of the thinking about industrial heritage. The second source, and the one which is of the same age, was the thinking of the technical intelligentsia, the educated engineers, machine engineers, construction engineers. These are the rules of the Architects and Engineer Association in the Kingdom of Bohemia from the year 1884. And if you look, it wants to, gather, to quote it, to gather the mental forces of the engineers of every branch, to put them together to discuss. But there is also an aim to protect the monuments of art, the monuments of construction, and the monuments of technology. Against these monuments of technology, technical monuments are here in rules of Architects and Engineers Association at the end of the 19th century. These thinking about heritages of technology as important for the architects and engineers has an quite well, surprising outcome in the 20s, where Emil Zimmer was the leading civil engineers and water engineer of the new republic. Himself designed a new law in the 1921, a special law to protect the heritage of the technology. And this was even before the discussion about the General Heritage Act started. Even in 10 years before, Emil Zimmer designs a special law to protect the technological heritage. That's because the aim of it was not quite really conservationist or Hegelian. They wanted these things, these objects, and these buildings also to be preserved in order to educate the newer generation of engineers. The third source of interest in industrial heritage, or well, pre-industrial heritage at this moment, was were the ethnological studies. Ethnology, forced massively by the nationalistic upheaval at the end of the 19th century, been studying the technical equipment of rural settings at the end of the 19th century. In 1891, there was a version of Universal Exhibition in Prague, the Universal Land Exhibition, and among all these, at the time, newest and super modern machines and buildings, there was an exhibit of a model of a wooden milling machinery used from the end of the 18th century in rural Czech mills, which was meant to be or called to be a Czech or Bohemian way of milling. So this kind of a cult of these rural mills, which were outdated even in the end of the 19th century, as a symbol of this, the healthy and morally advanced rural people. That's another source of our heritage thinking, and it's still it's lively till today. I will explain probably later. So these are the three sources. We have to wait until the 60s of the 20th century, and the new impulses came from actually people who were employees or run the museums of technology. Museums of technology by themselves were, founded at the beginning of the 20th century as the National Technical Museum in Prague, or even later in Brno. But in the 60s, the museologists start to think about the objects of their interest, which are still in situ, v terénu, in the field. That was used in the 60s, and the first lists of these monuments of technology as a museum objects in the in situ were made. This is the list from the 1970, and it comprises some 650 objects. Most of them, of course, are not actually what we think as the industrial heritage. These things are mostly pre-industrial, rural, 18th century, even 17th century mills, bridges, things like that. And these things were luckily listed during the 60s and 70s. From this museological point of view, the first open-air museums came to life, and this is a Tickich bulletin from, or not a bulletin, a transaction book from the 1978 with the entry of Jiří Mayer, who was the founding father of the open-air industrial museums in the Czech Republic. The first one was the open-air mining museum in Příbram, which I'm going to show you, in the afternoon. That's Jiří Mayer, and Jiří Mayer was in contact with the emerging industrial open-air museums in Western Germany, as well as in the eastern part of Germany and all the world. So that was at the end of the 60s. This was an important move. And by the way, Banská Štiavnica was the second. That was founded nearly at the same time as Příbram. So Banská Štiavnica and Příbram were the first open-air museums of industry. This is Příbram, and again at the end of the 70s, the thinking about industrial archaeology was brought to Czech context, thanks to first of all Jiří Merta from the Technical Museum in Brno, who wrote about the method of industrial archaeology as early as in the 70s. So at the the time this scientific research was at the beginning, and again this is the blast furnace which is being used open air in situ, but as a exponent, a thing which tells you exactly how it worked in the past time. But as you can see, it looks like a new one actually. So yet another attitude to heritage. All these things combined in this methodology by Miloš Matej and Michaela Ryšková from the National Heritage Institute and its methodological center in Ostrava. What's on the front page? There is a open-air mining museum in Majrau, near Kladno. But this methodology goes much further than these open-air museums. Allow me to quote the evaluation, that's Miloš Matej's text. The evaluation of industrial heritage sites draws on traditional value criteria applied to the assessment of quality in both architecture and urban planning. However, it also involves additional specific criteria due to the presence of technical equipment, typological significance, the continuity of technological flow. This is a quite an advanced methodology, which is very good to evaluate, to find, among the others, the sites which are the most preserved, the most complete sites, which are have the most thing to tell about the industrial process, and to turn them into a museum. The most important sites and structures, including technical equipment, are open for the public, and the key technological ensembles are conserved using the method of last working day, which aims to preserve the authentic atmosphere in which the production once took place. This principle of last working day, not to show the Michal mine in Ostrava, which you already know, but this is again the Majrau shaft. It needs just one thing. It has to be done with the cooperation of the mining company or with the owner, who just is planning to stop, to halt the mining or the production, and then hands it to a museum. That's the only way how can a last working day museum can be achieved. As you can see, this is it's a kind of a very special and rare attitude. Actually, I'm afraid that these days there is no site at all which can be actually presented as the state of the last working day. There are no more.
Thank you, Lukáš. Do you have more slides, because your time is off?
Okay, I can end right at the middle, and I can continue. In the afternoon with the examples we have chosen. But well, that's actually quite a good start for the methodology of the National Heritage Institute. So thank you.